Okay. Oh my God.
Yeah, welcome back with another banger. Hit that like, sub it up, don't react, bounce. Hit that like, sub it up, don't react, bounce. Y'all feel me? Let's run it.
Well, it will definitely happen. I was talking about 6G earlier, which is around 2030. I would say that by then, definitely the smartphone as we know it today will not anymore be the usual, kind of the most common interface.
Wow.
Many of these things will be built directly into our bodies.
And one of the important statements we've, I think, made at our most recent developers conference is that we believe that one of the big advantages of augmented reality is actually solving problems here on Earth, and it will be things like having glasses and being able to translate as you speak with glasses, and those are very close.
Holograms will be very, very high quality in the era of 6G. I've already seen 5G based hologram demonstrations. They already work, but then with the next generation technology, I mean, we could be having this meeting so that in reality we would be sitting in different parts of the world.
All right, well, I've enjoyed seeing you for the last time I'll ever see you in person. I look forward to seeing you at the next Davos. Thank you very much to our amazing panelists and a wonderful conversation.
So I was watching the most recent video by Nick Shirley exposing these daycare centers. Now, they're going daycare to daycare, and the next one that they go to is called Sweet Angel Childcare. This is where they show up to. And this is the business right here. Sweet Angel Childcare in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, listen to where this phone number goes to when you call this childcare center. Just wait for it.
Thank you for contacting the office of Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan. Our office is located at 130 State Capitol at 75 Reverend.
Oh my God. I'll do it again. Sweet Angel Childcare. It goes to Governor Tim Walz's office. Why is a child care center directly going to the office of the governor?
Nick Shirley just opened up a whole new can of worms. Shout out to David Harris Jr. taking the time to call the number. Yo, that's wild. Right now, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered.
Well, I caught up to another one of those haunted ghost trains here. Looks like it's still running in the winter. Sounds like it's steam, sounds like it's gas. I'm not sure. Not sure where it came from. And not sure where it's going, but you guys wanted me to hop up on here and see what's going on. Well, no one's driving. That's kind of weird. And this time it's going backwards. Interesting. Well, I want no part of where it's going. So I'll see you guys later.
I don't know if you guys remember the Varginha, Brazil UFO incident where they believe the military chased or shot down some craft. There was a small red being running around town or in the forest near town and was captured. The military soon covered it up, and then the US, I believe, came in and removed the body and the craft from what I've heard. They covered up and said it was, I believe it was a gentleman that was handicapped or deformed. That's how they described the actual body that was seen by a few people. But if you see here, this gentleman here found the dead body first. Well, it wasn't dead, I believe. It was rushed to a hospital. But as you see, he sees this body, and then I believe he gets nervous at some point and takes off running to get away. And once he thought about it, you can see how nervous he is. He actually returned to the scene. And after he returned, you get a better look at this body. Now, some people will say it's fake. Some say it's real. I can't confirm either or. I do know the story, and the story is real. And this is an old footage, so maybe it is. But tell me what you think, and what do you know about the Varginha, Brazil incident? This footage is supposed to be now released. You tell me, is this real? Unanswered Universe. Leave your thoughts in the comments.
I don't remember this event, but it seems like the cameraman was just as nervous. Shout outs to Unanswered Universe. I wouldn't be surprised if it was real.
I remember when I was growing up, Disney, for example, if you watch Aladdin, when they rub the genie bottle and the genie pops out, it spells the cover of The Little Mermaid. It's like a golden castle. But if you look closely, all of the towers are I mean, you see this symbolism everywhere. You know, I'll tell you another thing. A long time ago here, me and my wife were looking around at some big acreages, like way out in the middle of nowhere. It was like a big hunt property. We get there, there's all these hippies. We go in the cabin, go upstairs. There's this little room. You look on the wall and there's a pentagram. And right under the pentagram, there's a mattress. And on every point on the pentagram, there was these magazine cutouts of scenes of nature. Every point on the pentagram was a different landscape photo. And then there were chairs all around the bed.
The Emmys are presented to the world by the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences. The first letter in that title is National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences, which is NATAS, which is spelled backwards Satan. And when you begin to look at how Hollywood was founded in ancient times in Europe, there was a civilization in ancient Europe even before the Roman Empire. And it was called Druids. And this is what we're dealing with today in America and around the world, Druidism. And among the Druids, pre-Roman Empire, they're still here today running the world, but among the Druids, there was a magic symbol that was very important to Druidism in Europe, and it was a magic wand. It was like Merlin the magician with the magic wand, Mickey Mouse with the magic wand. Also, the orchestra conductors use a magic wand to play the music. So magic wands were always made out of the wood of a holly tree. It's made out of Hollywood. And once you understand the symbolism, the words and the terms and how words are used, it's all magic. It's all a very high form of druidic, professionally done magic.
So why do powerful people hurt children? The answer is not exactly what you've been told. You've been told that they've become compromised. Yes, this definitely happens, but it's only a quarter of the story. Now, wealthy people are powerful because of money, alright? Money is a form of diluted life energy. Money used to be gold. Gold is an element and mineral of the earth. Money is now a dead tree, hollowed out paper. Money of today is fake. It's fiat currency. Our entire financial system is set on a form of currency that is dead. This means that those who control the money supply understand energy. They want us to believe what they believe, and that is that death is life. So what can we interpret from a command chain of wealthy people that own the global economy and worship death? We can see that they gain a sense of energy from non-life. And what is the exact opposite of non-life? Life, especially new life, innocent life. Now, when you turn life into non-life, where does the life force go? The life force goes into the abusers, just as the gold goes into the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, Fort Knox, Banque de France, and the Bank of Italy in Rome. Innocence and gold are hoarded and used as energy sources. Meanwhile, they twist the human mind into believing it can live off of hollowed-out materials, Fruit Loop cereal, polyester clothes, plastic containers, Teflon, while dark humans hoard actual life force and gold. In the anime series The Gray Man, innocence is a literal divine material that powers special weapons to fight evil. But what if this power gets in the wrong hands? In this series, innocence gets hijacked and is taken and used by what they call the Fallen Ones. These are humans that become monsters that destroy the life around them by twisting innocence. So wealthy people understand energy. They see innocence as a power source, and they use this energy not just for fun, but for power. This is a complicated subject that I cannot cover in just one short video, but I leave you with a quote that has gotten me through harsh times around some of these people. I am sending you out as a sheep in the midst of wolves. So be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. When innocence learns how to be wise, it can no longer allow its children to be a source of energy for dark people. What do you think of this theory, little angel? Share your thoughts below and be blessed, little cutie pie.
I definitely resonate with this theory. It makes a lot of sense. They hoard the gold while we scramble for hollowed out paper. Shout outs to Mary is alien.
They say this year was unprecedented, which is funny because they said that last year too. Maybe nothing's getting worse. Maybe we're just noticing. If you're questioning the headlines, good. Like the video. Comment what they missed. Subscribe to the React Files.
Looking through a thermal under white hot. There's a truck. You can zoom in on the truck. Let's get our focus. Okay. That truck is about 150 yards away. Okay. Now, that's the moon. And we're just going to start scanning the sky because there's a lot of shit going on that you can't see with the naked eye that I cannot explain. They're not bugs. They're not bats. Here. That's what a plane looks like. Okay. And there's something next to the plane. I don't know what it is. Okay. There goes a shooting star. I think. But you catch my drift? That's out in front of the plane. And I don't know what it is. It's like the plane's following it. Not a satellite. They're all over the place. Can't see them with the naked eye. Have no idea what they are. But they're freaking... See that one just turned? Just turned. They're not bats. They're everywhere.
Yo, what was those? Shout out to Bleak Fable. That's crazy. Can't see him with the naked eye. Gotta grab the thermal optics. Very clever. It's like using the glasses from They Live.
So there is a $1 billion fraud scheme going on in Minnesota involving daycares, but you guys, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's get into it. So let me bring you up to speed. So this independent journalist and YouTuber by the name of Nick Shirley goes to Minnesota and exposes hundreds of daycares that get federal funding, like millions of dollars, but have no kids at all. And you guys, it is so bad and it's so blatant. He goes to this daycare center that's supposed to say Quality Learning Center, but it says Leering Center. And mind you, this place has no windows, it looks like a prison, and the only door you do see, it's completely blacked out. Now, the Leering Center has been hit with 95 violations between 2019 and 2023, but has still received over $7 million. Oh, but it gets worse, you guys. So another place he visited called Sweet Angel Childcare used to have a number, but it doesn't anymore. I found a video where they called the number, and guess where it goes to? Tim Walz. Tim Walz's office, you guys, and I had to test this theory myself to verify.
The office of Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor.
And let's not forget, he said this, where he said Minnesota's economy does not work without childcare providers, so we're giving them a raise. We're all sure of that now. Now, with all these daycares not having any children, it is imperative to note that 3,000 to 4,000 kids per year go missing in Minnesota, but that's another rabbit hole for another day. But it gets even weirder. Do you guys remember this Minnesota lawmaker by the name of Melissa Hortman?
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and
who was the only Democrat who voted against Minnesota Care, which cuts the funding for healthcare for illegals. Well, guess what? She was murdered. Oh, it's all starting to make sense now, doesn't it? And mind you, they never caught the killer, who they said was impersonating a cop who had a police cruiser, but it smells like an inside job. Now, I'm getting hundreds of DMs to look into other states because they said Ohio's even worse. I mean, can anybody tell me why this daycare center in Columbus, Ohio is located at a smoke shop? And here's another one for good measure with blacked out windows, just this truck in front with no other cars, no play place, nothing. And not to mention, there's over 500 daycares in Washington that have no physical address at all, so there's that. I mean, it really makes you wonder how Kamala Harris raised $1 billion in 3.5 months with Tim Walz being her running mate. And it's pretty full circle because she did try to pay me off in this email during election time with that allegedly dirty money. Make sure you guys go to my YouTube, The Maverick Approach, because I'm doing a deeper dive on all this, but let me know what you guys think below.
Shout outs to Maverick Approach. Thank you, brother, for not selling out. Yo, that's wild. The lady was found unalive. When he said that, now it made me remember the whole thing. And what about the smoke shop in Ohio? Man, could you imagine dropping your kids there for daycare? Like, what?
You got 12 days until BlackRock makes us millions again. That's because BlackRock Silver just announced they're raising $15 million by selling shares to investors to fund its mining project, which tells me one thing. They want to accelerate exploration before metal prices move higher. But what really caught my eye is that BlackRock Silver is based in Nevada, and there's another junior mining company sitting on that exact same gold belt. It's called Iconic Minerals, ticker ICM, and this segment was disseminated on behalf of the company. What most people don't realize is that Nevada is the most prolific gold producing region on the planet. BlackRock didn't randomly choose this location. They're positioning early, before the real move in metals, and that's exactly why I've been watching Iconic so closely. I've been talking about this stock since 7 cents, and it's already around 17 cents, nearly a 200% move. But if you think that means it's too late, this is where you're wrong, because Iconic is still a junior explorer, sitting in the same geological belt where big money is deploying capital right now. This is still the early stage. As always, do your own research. This is not financial advice.
That's right. Do your own research. This ain't financial advice. Shout outs to Pennies with Mark 1. Like all the power players are moving in. Who knew Nevada had that much gold?
Strange theories you've never heard of. Guys, some of the topics on this chart are extremely deranged the further down you go. But we'll start off with volcanoes' real purpose. This is the idea that all volcanoes on Earth are just remnants of old power plants, and that human civilization have gone through multiple cycles of great extinction events. And so these power plants have melted down, and that's why they are now just volcanoes. The phone mafia is just the idea that all the scam callers that you get and receive are all part of a large mafia syndicate that's goal is to steal your information and sell it, which I feel like is closer to the truth than a lot of these other ones. Pancreas denial. This is the theory that the pancreas that you have in your body is more than just a physical organ, but rather your body's third chakra, and that it's responsible for the filtering out of negative energy. However, the government purposefully exposes us to a lot of negative energy to weaken its ability to block bad stuff, and so this leaves the general public vulnerable to the negativity that the pancreas would normally be able to keep away from us. So the pancreas is being denied its normal function. Moon soul catcher. This is just the idea that the moon is a giant soul catcher, and that there was a soul catcher placed on the moon before the age of man by these celestial beings that were benevolent entities that wanted to protect humanity. And so at the end of your life, they catch your soul with this giant catcher and then reincarnate it into a body of a newborn baby. And like, even if you experience like a near-death experience, your soul gets caught by the moon and then returned to your body if it's not beyond repair. Paleolithic deep state. First of all, the deep state is the idea.
Yes, I've heard about that moon theory. Shout out to Psychoopoly Official with these iceberg deep dives. The moon soul catcher. I feel like the phone mafia one is possible as well. For real.
This is literally insane, but there are cold and flu medicines right now from brands like Dayquil, NyQuil, Tylenol, Advil, and Benadryl that's being urgently recalled after they just discovered rodent feces. I'm not even kidding with you right now. This is not a joke. It's happening right now. Multiple cold and flu medications that were sold nationwide are being pulled from shelves after investigators found evidence of rodent contamination. We are literally talking about medications that people take every single day. Dayquil, NyQuil, Tylenol, cold and flu, Advil, Benadryl, Motrin. These are some of the most common medicines in America. This initial recall was just found and triggered after inspections found signs of rodent and contamination risk, which is why this is classified as a serious recall. What obviously makes this even worse is the timing, because this is happening during peak cold and flu seasons when millions of people are actively using these medications without realizing that they're even under a recall. This is not like a normal recall where I'm able to provide you with the lot numbers and the best by dates to look out for, because officials are saying that the recalled products were distributed through Gold Star Distribution Facility. This is where the specific contamination was found, and they're saying that you need to check your packaging or your retailer to make sure that you don't have the products from that facility. Check your medicine, and obviously share this video to as many people as you can so that they can see it, and I will be posting updates as more details come out.
Shout outs to Nick Jackson. There's some vital information right here. For real. Especially with this cold and flu season. Like, yo, definitely do the research on your cold and flu medicine. Make sure it ain't come from that company. Might want to do some herbal recipes and research holistic versions of these medicines. Never know.
I cannot stop looking at this new global flood simulation, and there's some evidence from Egypt that seems to have been hiding under our nose this entire time. And it's from the middle pyramid of Giza, the Khafre pyramid, that still has its little cap. It tells the whole story. So these top stones here were the ones that were above water. This middle layer took the brunt force and was stripped away. That layer, underwater, dissolved. Khafre is not the tallest pyramid, but it sits highest on the plateau, meaning only the tip of this one would poke out of the water. That is clue number one. The way the stones are missing is the exact way a strong wave would remove them from the pyramid. Now the second layer, right below it, is the exposed exoskeleton, much harder limestone. Some of this skeleton has been exposed on the ground. These are very large blocks. The reason these are exposed on the ground is from human quarrying or reuse to build Cairo. This last part, though, is the same stone as the tip, so why does it look different? Karst erosion is what happens to soft limestone as it gets dissolved near the coasts. When the water eventually drained, it left those deposits at the base of the pyramid. When the debris was cleared after excavations, it had protected some of the outer stones. Karst patterns above was the tip of the debris pile. But you can find these patterns literally everywhere on the plateau. They're not hard to find. This just connects everything together. A while ago, Jimmy posted a video someone sent him from the Internet Archives. It shows salt incrustations on the exterior of the pyramid. And in the Great Pyramid, dissolved limestone had to be cleared out of the descending passage. In this simulation, the rotational shift drains the water through the Sahara in the exact flow patterns we see in the Sahara. This would erase any cities that would have been there straight off the map. Get this, the rotation from where they were to where we are was determined by looking at the alignments of a bunch of ancient sites. Almost finished with my YouTube video that breaks down the theory proposed by the ethical skeptic. It's like an hour long at this point. This theory lines up seamlessly with my research. So if this floats your goats, give that guy a sniff. Or don't, that's fine, because I know that nobody on the internet loves you more than I do.
Yeah, that global flood modeling is very interesting right there. And it kind of makes a lot of sense. Shout out to baseforce.us.
In 1908, President Teddy Roosevelt sought to protect the Grand Canyon from timber and mining operations. Explorer G.E. Kincaid, anticipating the closure, mounted an expedition to the area to find minerals. But what he discovered there was something completely unexpected. Approximately 40 miles upriver from El Tovar Crystal Canyon, Kincaid observed unusual sediment stains, and upon investigation found a cavern entrance with steps leading to it, suggesting a man-made structure. Inside, Kincaid found writings on the walls not in English or Native American scripts, but in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. This finding suggested a historical connection far beyond local or known civilizations. The cave system revealed a vast underground city, estimated to house up to 50,000 people, complete with granaries, cooking areas, and artifacts indicating a sophisticated society with knowledge of metalwork and possibly agriculture. Among the findings were granaries with preserved seeds, tools made of copper indicating a lost art of hardening the metal, and various artifacts that pointed to a technologically advanced civilization. The complexity of the cave system with engineered passageways and rooms challenged contemporary understandings of ancient civilizations in North America. Kincaid's findings led to a Smithsonian expedition led by Professor S.A. Jordan, which further explored the cave system, uncovering a central chamber with a statue resembling Buddha, hinting at a cultural amalgamation or influence from distant lands. The artifacts and the layout of the cave suggested a deliberate, sophisticated design, contradicting the notion of an isolated or primitive local civilization. Despite significant discoveries, mainstream researchers and the Smithsonian have labeled the account as a hoax and dismissing the claims of an advanced civilization predating Native Americans in the Grand Canyon, and the possibility of ancient transoceanic contacts that might have influenced pre-Columbian American civilizations. Any and all attempts to further explore or validate Kincaid's findings face governmental restrictions, with areas off limits for exploration. This remarkable discovery aligns with local tribal legends, such as those of the Hopi, suggesting a historical basis for tales of ancient peoples and non-human entities emerging from the Grand Canyon, blending myth with tangible archaeological intrigue.
Shout out to Jason Abadi, G.E. Kincaid in the Grand Canyon. I remember hearing Billy Carson talking about it, how restricted it was. I definitely feel it holds strange and dark secrets, for sure.
How did Ilhan Omar make $30 million in 1 year when her congressional salary is $174,000? This seems very likely connected to the massive Somali fraud ring that was just exposed in her district in Minnesota. It turns out her husband, Tim Minette, has a company called Rose Lake Capital, a venture capital management firm. Its reported value in 2023 was $0. Ilhan Omar's net worth was actually in the negative, and somehow the reported value of that firm has now gone to between $5 and $25 million. And she has the pricey fashion items to show for it now. She also has multiple connections with people tied to this massive Somali fraud ring, including a video of her dishing out food at a restaurant that's at the heart of the scandal. Because, oh yes, it wasn't only learning centers being used to pocket money.
Quality Learning Center is a daycare, yet they spelled learning wrong.
There were also restaurants claiming to serve millions of meals to children without any verification. I would also just like to add, as a side note, that Ilhan Omar is currently on her third husband, whom she had an affair with when he was working on her campaign, and she was paying his consulting firm millions of dollars while cheating on her second husband. Not the brother. That was the first one. This was the second one. But, you know, I guess once a cheater, always a cheater.
The fraud is massive. Nick Shirley opened up a deep rabbit hole with this one. $30 million ain't no walk in the park. Shout out to Aaron Wexler with this deep dive. We're not even talking about the husbands.
What is the Masonic Bible?
When we get them, we burn them because it's not a Christian Bible. I mean, it might have some books of the Bible in there and all that, but it's what they give you when you reach a certain level. Schofield, by the way, was a Freemason.
Really?
You wouldn't believe the amount of Freemasonry, especially in this part of the world.
It seems to be pretty strong.
It's pretty strong here, yeah. Their motto is against cross and crown. You cannot be Catholic and a Freemason.
Why?
One of their ceremonies is to trample on a tiara representing the papal crown. It's Luciferian. It's secular humanist in its philosophy. They trace themselves back to Solomon and the building of the temple and Freemasons that were here and these other legends, but they also bring in other elements of different religions into it as well.
Well, that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. If you enjoyed this video, please consider to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Shout outs to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.